One thing that all great players have in common is how well they use their trail hand. And in this video today, we're going to walk you through how to activate, load, and release the trail hand properly in the golf swing. So part one, let's just walk through just the activation. Okay, this is a three-part process that we're going to really walk you through on activating, loading, and releasing. And at the end of all three of these parts, we have individual drills that you can do at home for each part.
Yes. We have the compact club here, so we're going to start with that. Okay.
Strong grip.
Yes.
We've heard us talk about this. We got lots of content on how to get the proper lead hand grip.
Exactly.
Be at the trail shoulder, all that good stuff. Okay.
Trail hand. Trail hand, we're going to flex the fingers back of the palm.
So palm, just kind of fingers straight away.
Yep. Start there.
Okay.
Then we're going to flex the fingers back of the palm like this. Perfect. And now we're going to connect the trail palm to lead thumb knuckle.
Keeping the fingers like extended back?
Yes. So what happens is most golfers, they tend to grip the club. Let's take the trail hand off for just a second. They tend to grip the club like this. So they try to go fingers first. We want to go palm first. We want to go palm to lead thumb. Plant that. Now just curl the fingers of the claws. Basically curl the claws. Yep. Perfect. So that is what we want to activate.
So I'm pushing against this lead thumb knuckle.
Yes,
with
in two directions. It's going to be to the side, so you're pressing against it this way, and also a little bit of a downward feeling with the palm as well.
So that's a lot of pressure there, but in terms of like when I'm just curling my fingers, that's not a lot of pressure.
Correct.
Is that right?
The curls of the claws are like at a 1.
It's really in my hands.
Exactly. Right.
Okay. So we've activated this properly.
Yep.
Okay. So this feels really good.
Yep.
So what's a good drill that I can kind of do to like work on this like at home? If maybe I don't have the ability to go to the range and I just want to kind of work on getting this activation part right.
So the perfect drill is if we take the club, and we've shown this in our podcast multiple times. If we start off with the club parallel to the ground, like in the takeaway in a sense here, he hasn't moved the lead hand back, but the idea is that how do we plant this max extension to the lead thumb at this point? So it forces him to go underneath and get that proper connection.
So it's really like I'm feeling like I'm pushing away here.
Correct.
Got it.
And
this is something I can simply just do like just chilling on my couch.
Absolutely.
Sitting in a chair.
Yeah. Get it here, plant it there. And what's nice about this is that you're getting like a 2-for-1 special here because we've already, in a sense, preset how we're going to load the club in the backswing by just getting the club to the takeaway position and then planting the trail palm against the lead thumb knuckle. That's exactly what we're going to feel in the takeaway.
So now when I go here to my setup,
we're
now
just
trying to
replicate
that. Just get that, which is the second part of this, which is how to get the proper loading of the trail hand.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's the next part. You see tour players, they're sometimes like getting the proper like preset in the takeaway, like they're just kind of molding like where they're actually going to go in their swing. So let's get that now. Okay. All right. So how do I do that? So just kind of go back to that same position.
Let's say this. If you set it like that, that's right. You can see the trail arm is nice and locked. Now the only thing is that the butt end of the club is not outside the trail foot enough. We want to be we talked about this circle outside the trail foot to where the butt end of the club should be about 5 inches outside of the trail leg at this point. So that's the circle here. So if you activate it where it's here, that's fine. Now stretch it. Good. Now that's the perfect loading of the trail palm against the lead thumb.
This feels really loaded. Feels like I'm just gonna like I got like a hammer trying to drive it into a nail.
Yes.
So what's the best drill for doing this at home of just getting this proper? Because this feels really loaded, but for somebody that maybe is trying to feel like what's this feel like?
For the south. Okay, so you take your lead hand and you're going to grab the shaft like this.
Oh, okay.
And when you go back,
so I go to that position I was in, like handle stretched away.
So keep pushing with the palm against the handle like this, down out towards your circle.
Okay.
You're going to wrap your curls of your lead hand back to help you pull back, so it really maximizes the extension of the lead wrist.
So I'm pushing here, pulling here.
There you go. And then from there, if you maintain this, which I know is very difficult in a sense to do, drive the trail palm back down and out, and that will also help you with the lag. Now we're in position to properly release what we have loaded up with our lever in the backswing.
Got it.
It's a great drill. Just that simple little idea. If you do that 10 minutes a day, I mean, this trail hand's going to be like this, and it's going to be molded to where
so loaded.
We're going to prevent ourselves from ever having to worry about not like flexing the fingers back of the palm properly.
But that's really loaded.
What do you feel right there? Like when you set that back right there with like fingers relative to the palm.
I feel like my palm is pushing like basically like straight that way as my fingers are like pulling like back up like this.
And what do you think this is for? Like what are we going to do now with that? Any idea?
Well, I mean, I can kind of see I'm getting a little bit, probably a teaser with the compact club here. I'm seeing how the club head is working relative to the handle, which is kind of the whole idea with all this.
Yes. So the palm is relative to the handle.
Okay.
The fingers are relative to the club head. So if we bend the fingers back of the palm like this, that means the club head is bent back of the handle properly.
So it's like
this.
that relationship right there is that relationship there. So if I don't have this, then I'm probably like that.
Bingo. And how are we getting? So let's go through that just real quick. So if you're like this, let's say the fingers are not flexed back to the palm, and you try to accelerate through, what do you think is going to happen? Yeah, that's a natural reaction, right?
The face is probably going to shut. Handle's probably going to go back too much. Not going to be a lot of distance.
One of the most common faults in golf is this right here. And that's why people have a hard time understanding how to create speed and distance.
That's why every tour player goes through this process, right? Of like activating, loading, because they know at impact, they probably, and now I think we can start talking about that, right? Like, how do I release this?
So let's go back to your drill position, just to kind of show that to people. We won't go too long because I know it's stressful.
It's tough.
We're going to try to take the trail palm now, and we're going to basically, we'll get to pre-impact. We're going to drive it down and out.
So how far the butt end? Where should the butt end be right now?
Where it's at, it's like the inside of the lead leg. Yep, perfect. So you can take. I'm going to hold it for you now, so you can put your lead pin on the club if you want. Or actually, let's
without it.
Let's let's go without first.
Okay, cool.
So we're gonna take the trail palm, and now we're just going to keep the cup, and we're going to, in a sense, feel like we're driving the trail palm like down at the ground and like down the target line.
Okay.
So it's gonna go like this.
Still keeping that cup.
Just like that. There's the finish right there.
Got it.
And what this does is, by his trail palm driving, fingers are staying flexed back. That's keeping the handle moving forward, keeping the club face behind the handle in a sense, and it allows us to keep the face square. So if he loses the cup and the fingers extend here, look what happens. Club face is going to close.
So basically from this position, all I'm really focusing on is taking that palm
and just driving it down and out. Yep,
like that.
Post impact. We talk about the end zone.
And then it's gonna it'll release and kick over, but
that's
I don't have to really worry about
that. Effect because when you drive that trail palm, like we said, trail palm is relative to handle, fingers are relative to club head. So if you drive this, you're creating this lag. So the club head is basically getting flexed back because of how the shaft works. And then if you drive the palm, the club head wants to have like a spring effect around, but if the trail palm overrides and holds it like this, then yes, out here this will naturally happen. But notice the cup and the trail wrist. You can look at any tour player ever in time, and then when you look at their finish, their trail hand is cupped at their finish.
So I could really like do this and just kind of keep it like that, right?
Yeah.
Like I never really have to like let that like
never
go.
let the fingers
keep it
up, like ahead of the palm.
Whew.
That's it.
All right, cool. Give
So
me
now,
a real club.
yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay.
Okay, so now same thing. Let's go through the process of getting the activation.
So you got the So let's go this. Let's go back first.
Okay.
Good. Go ahead and
we'll keep it up
just like this. Yep.
Okay.
And then we'll feel that little bit of like there we go.
Now trail palm to lead thumb.
Yep. Just curl.
Fingers are like still being like pulled back.
They feel like they're flexed back, but then you just curl the fingertips. Like again, just curl the claws.
That's why you see like Xander Schauffele and like all those guys. They're like just milking that lead thumb because they're just trying to get
the bed.
Yeah, the cat eating the bed. Right. Absolutely.
So now show me how when we work with what we
and then again, I could do like that drill like we did.
That's fine. Yep. Now do that again for the drill. When you set it right in front of you, remember now from here, you have to take that trail palm and stretch it back outside like that. That's the takeaway. So if we look at that in real time, so if we do it all in one motion, it's going to look like this.
Okay.
Now, from here, we're going to take that trail palm. No, you don't even have to worry about hinging. I want you to, in the swing, I want you to just basically stop here, take the trail palm, drive it, keep it cupped. So we can see here, when we look at the hand to handle to face relationship, that the handle is moving outside the lead leg. We have the cup and the trail wrist, which is keeping the club head outside of the hands, which keeps the face stability.
I'm pushing against like the side of the handle like a lot.
Yes.
Right? Like I'm really.
What do you think that helps with? Like,
I think it's definitely going to keep the face stable.
Yes. Okay.
But
and
it's
what does
also,
that control as far as when we think about speed?
I think it's definitely going to create like that catapult.
Right.
Feeling, right.
Right. Because think of it this way: your trail palm, that is basically again the handle, fingers are the club head. So when you drive that trail palm like this, maximum palm speed creates maximum handle and club head speed. So the faster, like you activate it, you load it, and then you drive it. The faster you can drive the trail palm, like from pre to post impact, that's going to maximize your distance because that's where the speed is really creating the swing.
So the better we get this, that's giving us more potential now to go in there with, if we just kind of like skip this step and like, okay, don't have the best activation, best load, and then we try to accelerate, it's not going to be as great of a distance increase.
Absolutely.
Like that.
The average golfer, when they struggle with distance, is because the fingers are barely getting set back of the palm. It's no way to go to like, basically like create speed. The fingers are snapping, and then that causes all the body movements in a sense. So if we trust the palm, it actually helps the body, helps the club. That's how we maximize the distance.
That's it.
Perfect. There it is.
Beautiful
That's
shot.
it, dude. I'm telling you. Look at your finish. Look where the club stopped. I mean, that's it.
So there's all three parts: how to activate it, how to load it, how to release it, hitting a ball with it. Just start small at first, but just really focus on just that trail hand and how you're using that. Every good player is doing it.
Yes.
It's going to help you a ton.
Yes.
Yeah.